Welcome, everyone, to It Tastes Different Gaming Appetizers. And we're going to talk about another sad day in gaming. Been a sad year for gaming, but Microsoft has started cleaning house at Blizzard, Activision Blizzard, I should say. They laid off 1,900 of the 22,000 employees. That's quite a large number, 8.5%, a little over 8.5% of its people. This was reported by The Verge, who obtained a full internal memo sent to staff by Microsoft's Game Content Studios president, Matt Booty. In it, he says, following today's layoffs, the company is moving forward with more focused strategy across Microsoft Gaming that sets it up for sustainable growth and better alignment of talent. They also addressed Mike Ybarra's departure because he is leaving as well. He left on his own accord. He wasn't laid off. He left on his own. So basically, the note said, Blizzard team, as you may have read in Phil's note, today is a challenging day. We say goodbye to some of our colleagues. This is a difficult process, but is one that will best enable Blizzard and Xbox to deliver ambitious games for players on more platforms and in more places than ever before. We're moving forward with a more focused strategy across Microsoft Gaming that sets up for sustainable growth and aligns our talent and resources to our top priorities. So, this also comes with news that they basically gutted the entire team that was working on Project Odyssey, which was a project that they announced a couple of years ago. Blizzard announced a couple of years ago. It's their survival game that they were talking about. And unfortunately, that means that this project has been scrapped. So back in 2022, they announced this project. It was working on a new survival game. I would have been interested to see what Blizzard could do on a survival game, because when they step outside their comfort zone, Activision Blizzard is capable of making some great games. But that just means that a year and a half, 2 years worth of development has basically been flushed down the toilet. That it was all for nothing. They moved some of those people around, but that team is no longer a team, and they've moved them on to other stuff, repurpose them, I guess. We all kind of thought this was going to happen. I mean, when they announced the merger, I don't know, a long time ago, the purchase for all that money, we kind of had a feeling that Microsoft would come in and clean house, right? They had to get rid of the good old boy system that was going on there. But after making such a massive purchase, what was it, $69 billion or something like that? I think is what it was, $69 billion. They've got to make sure that the studio is going to thrive and be successful. So they need to cut, and it's also been a tough year for gaming, right? Gaming is coming off of the COVID upswing and is on the downside of that hill of all those people going back to work and less people spending money on games because they're not stuck at home. So the gaming industry as a whole is suffering. It's basically correcting itself, if you will, right? Markets are self-correcting. We had this weird slump where people couldn't go out and do anything in the world, and now we're over that. And the gaming industry is now self-regulating itself to level back out to where it's supposed to be, and that's going to happen after a worldwide event such as COVID. It was a worldwide event that basically said you can't go out to the nightclub, you can't go out and do this, you can't be in public. So what are you going to do? You're going to stay at home and play video games. A lot of us do anyway. So, and this news came, just a few days, maybe a week after they had their little direct, the Microsoft Direct, showing off all these games and happy-go-lucky. And then next thing you know, they had to make a painful decision, which they've been mulling over since that acquisition was complete. Like, how many people do we need to let go? How much money is Blizzard Activision hemorrhaging? Do we need to restructure? What do they need to do? And this is what they came up with. So this adds to the already number. So 1,900 people that they laid off from Activision Blizzard, on top of the cuts that they already made to their own own Microsoft stuff, which is 5,500. So a total of 5,500. Excuse me. So their 1,900 people plus a little over, almost $3,000 they put in there before, comes to 5,500 people. So, and that's all within the first month of 2024. Microsoft has done all of this. So 5,500 people that used to work for Microsoft now do not. That includes the Activision people. So it's been a rough year for gaming already. Multiple companies have announced layoffs, all up and down the spectrum. People Can Fly hadn't announced some, Riot Games did. CI Games was laying off a bunch of people. Unity's laying off a bunch of people. Twitch is laying off people. Everybody is laying off people left and right in the gaming industry because it's self-correcting. I think the number was 10,000 people last year in 2023 lost their jobs in the industry. It's looking like 2024 is the hold my beer year, where it's like, I can do better, which is an unfortunate thing. Nobody wants to see anybody lose jobs. It's just, I don't know. It's insane, that Microsoft laid off 10,000 employees last year, and now they've already gotten over half that number laid off, and we're just in the first month. It's sad news, and we're also losing a game. But it seems like everywhere you look in the gaming industry, it's just every week a studio's shutting down or somebody's losing their job because they're being laid off. Now, I didn't read any details in any of the articles, even by Verge, on did they offer these people stipends? Are they taking care of them for so long? What are they doing for these 1,900 employees that they cut? Are they doing anything? Do they tell them to take a hike? I would like to know, because I cannot. And then, social media is a horrible place to be if you are wanting some type of human comfort for these people, because I've seen so many people posting messages on Twitter about my whole team was gutted and I'm like one of just a few, and people are dogpiling on them, and people have no empathy or sense of being human, right? Especially on the internet. Like I read plenty of Twitter, X is whatever you want to call them anymore, where people are like, my whole team's gone, or I'm the last out of a group or whatever. And people are like, well, stop making crappy games, just not in a nice way. They don't say it. They say it with a lot more profanity laden and a lot more color to it. But I'm like, that's just horrible to say to somebody who either lost their job or who are the last remnants of their team. That's a horrible thing to say to somebody that you don't really know. Like, those people were just developing a game as a programmer or whatever. They had no direct drive factor, no direct driving decisions on what way that game was going, right? They're just told, I need you to code, I need you to render this image, I need you to code this level, I need you to write this story. They have no control over that direction of that game. The people above them do, and people are acting like douchebags on the internet, but what else is new, right? The internet's full of people who just want to watch it burn and watch people go down with it. So, but I digress. What do you guys think about the current state of layoffs? What do you think about Microsoft going in and getting rid of 8.5% of Activision Blizzard's employee base? Nick, what do you think about this? What are your first thoughts when hearing about Microsoft just acquiring them, having their direct and happy-go-lucky, and then wham, they're slamming the foot in the door?
As far as that goes, like you said, we talked about more than likely Microsoft going to be coming in once they get fully acquired and cleaning house, getting rid of a lot of the of the staff, and here it is. But you're right as far as the gaming community, the gaming culture community as a whole, right? It's like Zorg, fire 1 million, right? And that's basically what the whole community, the whole gaming atmosphere right now is. And you're correct. It's the whole COVID with the whole spike and gaming becoming super popular at that time, right? I mean, that was like the thing to do, because that and Netflix, right? Those two like skyrocketed, and then now. It's not just the gaming market. It's also a lot of the entertainment market is leveling back out because, like you said, a lot of people are able to get, COVID's pretty much, I mean, it's still around, but people have had their shots or whatever the case may be. And people are going out and doing their normal routine now. So people aren't stuck at home. It really sucks for the individuals, right? That were working in these jobs and working a part of these teams. As far as the Odyssey game, yeah, it would have been cool to see Blizzard do a survival game. Blizzard needs to do something, right? even Diablo, I mean, a lot of their games right now are really, I feel like they're suffering. Even World of Warcraft. I mean, Dragonflight's pretty good, and the War Within looks interesting, but I think World of Warcraft is not doing so hot. Like normal, I mean, it's still like got a huge player base. Don't get me wrong, but normal to what it had done in prior years. Diablo 4. Talking about WoW, it's not doing as great as it had in prior years, even with Dragonflight being a good expansion, right? With people mostly positive about Dragonflight, it's still not keeping the numbers like is from what I've heard and read and stuff like they used to. And then Diablo 4, they just can't seem to get that game going, right? I mean, we're up to season 3 on that game, and no matter what patches or whatever they do to it, they just can't seem to keep that game flowing in the right direction. They're always hitting a wall with that game every time. I mean, I played a little bit of season 3 and it's all right, but it's just like, you gotta do more than what you're doing here. It's like you're just putting out like these little content updates in the seasons, and then you got and then all you're throwing in my face the entire time, which is a lot more this time around, is the battle pass. Man, they are really throwing the battle pass in season 3 in your face. They want you to know it exists. So, and then, you got their mobile outings and stuff like that. So it's Blizzard as a company really needs to shift focus. I don't feel like it's with the layoffs and stuff. I feel like Microsoft is just going to let them. I mean, it says in the article that they're moving teams to other projects that they're working on, and new games and stuff like that. But it seems like Microsoft may be focusing on Blizzard on more of like just, keeping World of Warcraft and Diablo going, and just making like little titles like Warcraft Rumble and, little phone games and crap like that. Right. And not really letting the freak flag fly, and letting them just go off and do something. Right. It's been said before, and, I'll say it again, the Blizzard today's Blizzard is not the Blizzard we knew when we were younger, right? It's just not the same place. And that Blizzard's probably not going to come back, right? So it really sucks that these individuals got laid off. It always sucks, and like Pat said, it's not just Microsoft, it's every developer out there. Every week there's somebody laying off somebody somewhere in one of the gaming development teams out there. And then again, that's just a leveling out. But Microsoft, I hate the corporate jargon they give. We're moving forward with a more focused strategy across Microsoft Gaming that lets us set up a more sustainable growth and aligns our talents and resources to our top priorities. It's like, yeah, that's just bullshit. That's all that is, right? Corporate jargon. It's just like, yeah, we're getting rid of you because we spent a lot of money, and you're the overhead that we need to get rid of. You're the baggage, because we need to save money, even though we have like a crap ton of it, but you're not helping us keep a couple pennies in our pocket, so you got to go. And yeah, it's stupid stuff. I don't know what Microsoft's strategy is really. I mean, it feels like there were some rumblings that a lot of their games are going to be coming out on other devices and stuff, and they talk about that all the time. I have a feeling that Microsoft in general is going to become I think they'll still have an Xbox, right? But I think their general thing is their Game Pass subscription, and even possibly their games, and I'm talking first party like Halo and crap like that, will eventually be on everything, right? Or it'll just be Game Passes on everything. And if Halo's on Game Pass, well, you can play it on PlayStation, you can play it on PC, you can play it on Switch, you can play it on, your Samsung smart fridge, right? And Microsoft wants to put its foot everywhere. And I think for them to do that, they're basically turning Activision Blizzard and a lot of their properties maybe into small development cycles, short games, quick cash, right? Just turning out these small, stupid games like Warcraft. I mean, granted, I never played Warcraft Rumble, but I don't plan on it. But things like that and stuff that just make a quick buck, quick cash, quick and easy type of stuff, right? They really want to get into that mobile market, and with the purchase of King, they're going to be able to do that. And I just feel like that's kind of the direction they're going. They're still going to have big blockbusters, yes, but they're going to, I think they want to somewhat focus on that quick and dirty scheme of short development cycles and just busting games out that aren't really that fun, but they know people will buy them and play them, right? And so for this, I feel like they don't have to have the staff for that, right? They can get rid of most of the staff and just have a skeleton crew that can just bust out these titles and keep the big juggernauts such as WoW and Diablo, keep them going, and Battle Pass and microtransaction the crap out of those, and come out with expansions and various things like that. Because they know they're going to have a community with that, but everything else is kind of like small projects and stuff like that. Maybe Overwatch, I guess, right? It's doing okay, I guess. But are we going to see new big games? It doesn't seem that way. I don't know if Odyssey was having trouble, right? We don't really know that much about Odyssey, but either it was having trouble and not getting off the ground, right? Or it was fine and Microsoft said, "Nah, we don't need that. We got Grounded. We have a survival game. Yeah, we don't need that one." That type of thing. I don't know. Because we, like Pat said, we heard the announcement of Odyssey, and then after that, it kind of went dark. I mean, I really didn't hear much more about it since then, right until now. So, but overall, it just sucks for those individuals that lost their job and have to go find somewhere else. So hopefully they'll be able to get back on their feet and find some other place that will hire them on, and they can continue working and doing what they do. Shane, what do you think, bud?
Not much. No, you guys pretty much hit all the technical stuff, the money stuff. And Pat, you brought up probably for me, you brought up the biggest point, which is don't be dicks. I mean, these people lost jobs. These people have families. These people have responsibilities. I mean, it sucks. It plain and simple sucks. So don't be dicks about this. That's just really my biggest thing about it. And Nick, you're right. I mean, it's not about, we're solidifying our group to put the mind meld together so we could make AAA games that you're going to love. But no, you blew your wad and now you need to scrape up a few pennies. I fully understand. It makes business sense, blah, blah, blah. I'm a people person though. I love people. But I do not like seeing people lose their jobs and things like that. And that's the crappiest part of this whole story. I don't care how much Microsoft makes money. I don't care if they put out the next greatest game ever. People lost their jobs. That pisses me off. My personal feeling is I think you could get rid of a few management and still save a crap ton of money over those 1,900 people. That's just me. There's too many, what's the old saying? Too many chiefs, not enough Indians. That's the situation here. They got way too many chiefs. Get rid of a few of them, make them other chiefs do some little extra work and save the real employees. Save the people who actually put money into that company. That's just me. But, I think you're right about how the development's going to go, and the rumors of them going basically a third party have been going around a lot, especially since the big leaks from the trial for the Activision merger. They had all those leaks. I don't know if I would. I don't think they would keep making Xbox though if they were going to go basically third party publisher. I mean, Sega.
Well, I mean, I think they'll make like an Xbox device, right? Like they'll have a device that you can hook up to your TV and play Game Pass on, in a sense, right? They may not go full blown like Xbox Series X style, but they'll have something for you to purchase.
Yeah,
I think.
probably just
That'll be a sad day.
that would be a sad day. It really would. It really would. We should do an episode of a console that needs to make a comeback. Not like we already know this one. Uh, I would. I don't know. I don't know if I would see that or not, but I understand why you think it's possible. I mean, because Microsoft is doing their own version of Nintendo. They're doing what they want. They're doing their own thing. They're not following the typical gaming moniker of make a console, make some good games, pay people to put games on it. They're not following that. They're putting their games everywhere. I mean, their games are spreading out all over the place. I could see that. They're doing the whole Game Pass thing, which is, right now it's the most unique service on the gaming market. Sony's doing their little thing to try to pretend that they're doing what Microsoft's doing. Nintendo, God knows what they're going to do. Can't wait to see what this new console is going to have entail. So with this, these kind of layoffs, they're going to happen. Like Pat said, they ain't the only ones. I mean, everybody's getting dropped here lately. But like he said, it's course correction. I mean, everybody was playing games when COVID first hit. Everybody had Netflix. I mean, Netflix was dropping money into movies and shows like there was no tomorrow. And, now everything is coming home to roost. And unfortunately, people are, losing their jobs over bad decisions. I mean, I can't say bad because they're understandable decisions, but the decision itself is bad for other people, I guess. So, but that's really all I got. My heart goes out to him. I could not imagine losing my job right now. Because I'm pretty sure you guys would be over here auctioning my crap for me because I'd have to sell everything because I couldn't afford to lose my job. I mean, I'm an expensive bitch. I got too many expensive tastes. I need my job. So, but yeah, my heart goes out to him. So,
yeah. The only two things that kind of give me pause to this is the whole Mike Ybarra leaving, Ybarra, because I think back when I don't know if you guys watch or pay attention to Mike Schreier from Bloomberg. He's usually pretty right on the spot with stuff when he comes out with it, and he released a statement about how he was concerned with the whole Ybarra leaving because back when the acquisition first went through, Ybarra told him that he was going to stay for the long haul, and it's going to take somebody to drag him out of Blizzard before he's going to leave. And now he's just talking about, I wonder if Microsoft basically said, hey, we need you to leave because they're going to clean senior leadership up, I think. And if you leave amicably, we're going to give you a severance package. If you don't, we're just going to boot you out regardless. And then I believe Jason Schreier also said that Alan Adam is out. That has not been official, but he's the chief design officer and one of the founders of Blizzard. So he's the company's founder, and that would be insane to hear that they ousted him. Either he left or they ousted him or whatever. But that stuff is concerning, and not to mention the wasted development time on Odyssey. Because we knew about it for 2 years ago in 2022, year and a half, 2 years ago. But that game's been in development for probably 5+ years, maybe even longer.
But that's really not too unusual, though. I mean, we've seen game developers, skull and bones. I don't care what you say, Pat. I still don't think that game's
it's out next month. You can just
still don't believe it.
Hey, they have open beta.
They have open beta next month.
So it's coming out.
It's still in beta, or is it an alpha? I can't.
It's a beta. It's an open beta. They're calling it open beta. So, but you guys will have to play because I'll drag you along. But
Beyond Good and Evil, there's so many games that this happens to.
That's a different thing.
That's toast. All right, that's the puppy I got in the backyard right now. It's done.
Ubisoft keeps saying it's on life support, but I don't believe that one's still alive. But I wish it was still alive. But it is
life support.
Yeah.
They
But
pulled
so like
that
there's
plug.
things.
They ain't just telling nobody.
So there's things to cause concern about this. Like I'm pretty sure that Ybarra leaving is not of his own choice, probably, but he's not going
I
to.
would agree.
He's not going to talk because Ybarra used to work for Microsoft for like what 15 plus years or some crap like that, and and either one of two things in my mind happened. Either he I don't know what his leaving was like in Microsoft first time around. Maybe he was like, screw Microsoft, I hate them, they're the worst company around. But then he went to Blizzard Activision. He's like, God, I didn't know how good of a company Microsoft was. And he wanted to come back. And then he got scared. He's like, wait a minute. No, these guys are kind of rough, just like everybody else. So I want to get out. Or Microsoft pretty much told him, you have to leave amicably or forcibly. Which one is it?
I would probably agree with the latter, just
Me too.
because when they were doing the negotiations and things, you don't want a bunch of people going around. Well, they're going to buy us up and they're going to fire me. They're going to fire this guy.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of stuff they're going to keep to the cuff. So,
Yep.
but
So,
hey, as long as they got Matt Booty,
as long as they took care of all the people laid off, that's what I want to hear. I want to find out. I want to hear like the severance package was like amazing. That's what I want to hear. But I don't know if we will ever know what their severance package, or if there even was a severance package. We're going to have to wait for somebody that's actually somebody that pays attention and start spilling the beans, right, on what the severance package was. Some of them have like NDAs too that you have to sign. You can't talk about the severance package for so long, or we'll come after you and we'll take it back plus some. So.
Well, Xbox has it's over a $2 trillion on the market value. So yeah, they can afford to drop a few bucks.
Microsoft hit $3 trillion most recently.
Was it three? Oh,
they got a market cap of over $3 trillion here just this year, I think is what they hit. So first time in its 48-year history that it hit a $3 trillion market cap. And it's the second, I believe it's only the second company behind Apple to have ever done that.
So, those 1,900 people had to go. They just had to.
Yeah.
We cannot afford this.
Yeah. So like I said, it sucks for all them, but I hope that Microsoft took care of them to help them to ease the transition a little bit. And what I mean by that is they better have gotten months worth of severance so that they can have a little bit of a cushion while they look for something else. That's what I would expect. Yeah. But you never know.
Yeah, most developers, they typically, I've said this before, they'll typically they'd lose some people after a game development's completed, depending on the game, and they go and find another home to work in. I don't know. To me, that is a job market that I don't want to be a part of. Having to constantly, all right, guys, I got this game finished. All right, now you're out of here.
Yeah. IT world is a lot like that for contractors. So there's a lot of IT contractors in that world. So, and I've done it. You worry about what's going to happen when your contract is up. Are they going to retain you or tell you to leave? And my experience was 80% of the time they tell you to leave. So they weren't going to renew your contract. So, but so let us, you guys got anything else? Cause I think we're about ready to wrap this up. These people need their severance and they need everybody's support. Don't be dicks.
Yep. Dick free zone.
Yes. They should get a free pass from people on the internet being douchebags for a while. But that's not going to happen because the internet's the internet. But so let us know what you think down in the comments. What do you think about Microsoft laying off people from Activision Blizzard just months after the approval of the acquisition? Did you see it coming? That some people were going to lose their job? Did you agree with us that Microsoft's going to come in and clean house? And if you were part of those 1,900 people that got laid off, did you get a severance offering? Are you allowed to talk about it? I would like, even if you can't talk about it, you could at least say, yes, I got something. And that would be enough inquiry, that we would like to know. So let us know what you think down in the comments. What do you think about the self-righting of the game industry that's happening right now? And when do you think it will come to an end? And also make sure you subscribe to our channel to help us out. Help out the starving gamers, help us out. And as always, we hope you enjoyed the episode and hope to catch you in the next one.
See ya.